Hello everyone and welcome to your Monday maths lesson. Now today we're going to be beginning to look at time. Now we've looked at time a little bit in class, okay, so we're going to go over this lesson quite slowly, but we're just recapping on some of the knowledge we would have learnt in year 2, okay. So by the end of this video you should have remembered everything you've learnt and be experts to complete the challenge today. Now, with me here I've got a clock, okay, which we might see in school on the walls, for example, okay. Now this sort of clock is called an analog clock, okay, and today we need to then read a time on an analog clock and then transfer it into a digital clock, which you might see on your grown-ups phones, for example, which looks like this, where it's just got numbers to show a time. And then we also need to write down the time in words, okay. But first and foremost, let's have a look at this analog clock, okay. Now the time here on my analog clock is 2 o'clock. Okay, and I know this because my small hand, my hour hand, tells me what hour I am on, and the small hand is pointing to the 2. So I know I'm within the hour, the second hour. Okay. Now the blue hand's my minute hand, and when it's on the 12, when it's pointing directly up, that means o'clock. Okay, it's the start of a brand new hour. So in this case, my hour is 2. It's the start of 2 o'clock. Okay, now in order to get to the next o'clock, which would be 3 o'clock, it's got to go around 60 minutes. It's going to take 60 minutes to get around that hour. Now, as the minute hand makes its way around our clock, okay, it will stop off at these numbers along the way. Now, it takes 5 minutes to get to each number, okay, so to get to the 1, it's going to take 5 minutes. Okay, to get to the 2, it's going to take 10 minutes. To the 3, it takes 15 minutes. And then to 4, to 20 minutes, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then finally 60 minutes to get to its new o'clock, and it will then start again. Okay, did anybody notice a pattern there? That's right, we're going up in 5s every time. Now, today, we're not going to focus on every single number, every stop along our hour. We are just going to focus on when our minute hand gets to the 3, gets to the 6, gets to the 9, and when it gets back to the o'clock to start a brand new hour. Okay, so let's go back to our 2 o'clock again. Now, a way in which we would show this using a digital clock would be like this. Okay, now our digital clock, again, like I said, is with numbers, and the way in which we show it is by having the hour first. Okay, so in this case, my hour is 2. Okay, so my hour hand is pointing to the 2. So the hour would be 2, and how many minutes have I gone into this new hour? Does anybody know? Remember, this is going to take 5 minutes to get to here. The o'clock would be 0 minutes, because remember, it's the start of a brand new hour. Okay, so it's 2, the second hour, followed by 0 minutes, because we haven't started that new hour yet. Okay, so right at the very beginning. Now, my next stop within my hour, again, is going to be at the 3. Okay, so we're going to go past the 1, 2, and finally get to the 3. Now, does anybody now know what time this would be on my digital clock? Now remember, my hour goes first, okay? So my hour hand is pointing to my 2. I'm still in my second hour. So I would write a 2, followed by my colon, my dot dot, okay? And then how many minutes have I gone into my second hour? Okay, now this can be the tricky part. So I start here where it's 0 minutes. And remember, we're adding on 5 every number we get to. Okay, so it'll be 5, 10, 15. Okay, so it'll be 2, 15. Now, the next stop along my hour is going to be at the 6. Okay, when the minute hand gets to the 6. Okay, so we worked out that it took 15 minutes to get round to the 3. Okay, we now need to work out how many minutes is taken to get round to the 6, okay? It's actually halfway around, okay? So on a digital clock, remember we need to show our hour first, okay? Now our hour here is still on the second hour. Okay, we've not yet gone to the 3. We are still on our second hour. The hour is still 2. So I do 2 followed by my colon, dot, dot. And now I need to work out how many minutes I've gone into my second hour. So let's work it out. We went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I've gone 30 minutes into my second hour. Okay, so on a digital clock, we would show that as 2:30. Brilliant. Now, my next stop is at the 9. Okay, so I'm going to move my minute hand to the 9. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like on an analog clock. Now I need to transfer that onto my digital clock. So let's get my whiteboard. And remember, I put my hour first. Now I'm still within my second hour. So my hour is still 2. I've not yet gone to 3 o'clock. Even though it looks like the hour hand is on the 3, we are still working within our second hour. So our hour is going to be 2. Okay, because we are approaching 3 o'clock, but we're not quite there yet. Now we need to find out how many minutes we have gone around the clock since 2 o'clock when we first started. So let's work it out. We went 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes. So it's taken 45 minutes to get around to the 9. Therefore, on my digital clock, I need to show that as 45 within the minutes section. Okay, so 2:45. Now, our next stop again on our clock is now back to the 12, exactly where we started, but now we're not doing 2 o'clock. We are now got to 3 o'clock. Okay, now remember, I would show that you write my hour first, so 3 colon dot dot 0 0, because I've not yet began that hour. I'm just at the very start, very much at the starting line. So I went to my next stop. I'm 15 minutes into it. So I'd show that by doing 3 dot dot 15. Then my next stop is at the 6. Again, my hour is still 3 colon 30, because I've gone 30 minutes around. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. My next stop is at the 9. Okay, and then I need to work out how many minutes I've gone around. Again, my hour is going to be 3, because I began my new hour at 3 o'clock, 3:15, 3:30. Now this one's going to be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then I'm going back then to my o'clock. Now this time it's not 2 o'clock, it's not 3 o'clock. You can see that we're starting a brand new hour, it'll be 4 o'clock. Now, like I said earlier, you may want to fancy a challenge today and write these times down in words. So, here we would say 4 o'clock. When we're at the 3, we say quarter past. Okay, quarter past, and then whatever hour we are on, so 4:15. At the 6, it'd be half past. Okay, half past, whatever hour we're on, so 4:30. When we get to 9, it's now 1:45. Okay, 1:45 the hour. So you can see here though, we are approaching 5 o'clock, so we 5:45, and then back to 5 o'clock. Okay. Now I'm going to go back around an hour now, and I want you to chant back the time to me in words. Okay. So we've got o'clock. So this will be 5 o'clock. 5:15. 5:15. Okay. Remember to copy me. Now we've got to half past, so it'll be 5:30. Now we're moving up to our 9, we've got 1:45, okay, so it'll be 1:45, not 5:0, it'll be 1:45, because I am moving up to my 6 o'clock. Now hopefully this video has given you a bit of help for the worksheet today, guys. Remember, if you're still stuck, you can watch back through the video, pause it in certain places, and make some notes if you need to. But if not, all the best of luck, guys, for the worksheet today.